Hello, sexy souls, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to this sort of video, this is an energy check-in for the collective. If you're new here, I am not a astrologer. I read a thing called SKYSTROLOGY, and if you're interested in it, it's basically getting the exact mathematics of where everything is. I was never really into astrology until I found this, and it just everything clicked for me. It's been very intuitive for me, and I can't fault it because I went into it just as an observer, and yeah, I was kind of blown away with how the energy was interacting with me, and then I got really into like stargazing and talking to stars, as a lot of you already know that. So yeah, I use Sky Astrology now to kind of help me. It's like an extra tool with tarot, because I do know the placements of what certain major arcana are, and what planet they're connected to or what sign. Um, because I never really used that in readings. I don't really think like it's necessary to make a list of all the possibilities that a certain person could be a Sagittarius, Aries, whatever. So when I'm talking about planets, it's like I get to use it in this way, and it's kind of fun for collective readings. So yeah, that was kind of a long-winded intro. But if you're interested in Sky Astrology, it's in the link or it's in the description of every one of my videos. I have Claudette's links, her Instagram, maybe follow her there, and maybe go on her website and just have a little read um, if you're interested. However, you don't need to be interested in astrology or sky astrology, because this is just my interpretation of um, where the heavenly bodies are and what they're saying with tarot. Okay, so I have taken some notes. Well, today was actually, it was quite easy today. I was just picking everything up really quickly, and this is a really positive energy check in. So I'm excited because there's some things that have changed from last week. Some things have stayed the same, but there's a good little shift collectively. Another thing I've noticed that I'm reading the collective energy of the people watching me. Because when I started, I was like, it felt like, okay, I'm reading the collective of the world, which I sort of am, but now it's started to get more, like, the more I'm connecting with everyone watching, the more um, personal it's starting to feel. Okay, so the collective kind of is the collective of my audience. And I didn't think on that. But now I'm starting to see it playing out each week because I'm able to compare from like what has happened last week. And I'm like, wait a second. This is talking about what we talked about last week. And it's like, okay, I'm seeing the trend here. So um, I will try keep it as easy to understand as I can. But yeah, this is a collective reading, so it's not going to affect you each like exactly. I'm just kind of giving you a little hint to what you could expect. So yeah. Um, so let us start with, what should we start with? Let's start with the sun, actually, because the sun is in Gemini at the minute, okay, and we have the Three of Pentacles, okay. So with the Three of Pentacles, I'm thinking on Gemini ruling the third house and everything, um, and down here we have the Fool, okay, um, which is in the placement of the third house. Okay, so we have the Fool there, and last week we had the World card reversed. Now, I understand why that was reversed. It was actually because it was stationary for a few days. I think it was actually stationary on the day that I recorded it. So it was funny how it came out reversed. Now, the World card is the end of the major arcana in tarot, and the Fool is the beginning again. So that is playing into something that we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's like the new cycle has started for all of you guys. It's feeling a lot more hopeful again. Things are feeling a little bit more abundant, more enjoyable. Life is starting to pick up again. And that's because we have Leo energy in the sky, and it's really helping us kind of get in a good mood again, not taking everything so to heart. We're kind of just kind of moving with things again, okay? Um, I I'm also feeling like if your work life was a little bit stressful, you're starting to realize that okay, with um it not being Mercury retrograde anymore, you're starting to kind of get back into um having clear communication, more grounded communication is what I'm feeling. Um, because um, Gemini being the ruler of Mercury and it being in the sun, it's kind of highlighting the fact that communication can kind of get back to normal again. You can kind of, ease up to people maybe that you had a little bit of falling out with. It's like everyone's starting to kind of find their confidence again, is what I'm feeling with the energy right now. However, we will talk about this full in a second because it's not, there is a polarity in everything. So this, we'll talk about that because the full card is linked to Uranus, and we'll talk about where Uranus, what's showing me something in Uranus. Talk about that in a minute. So two kind of cards that are, well, three. They're all kind of working with each other. It's kind of nice. Yeah, because the star card as well is linked to Uranus. So we have the star card here, and it's in the position of where Venus is. Okay. So Venus is in Leo. Okay. I think that this is giving us our confidence and feeling our individuality again. We're starting to feel like we got this. Okay, because here in Venus, I'm probably confusing people. Here in Venus, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So everyone is starting to kind of feel a little bit more accomplished in life, okay? With the star and the Nine of Pentacles, you're gonna start to feel a lot more abundant, even if you don't have a lot of money coming in. Just something about life starts to feel good because we don't have a lot of earth energy apart from the moon being in Virgo for the next couple of days, and then it moves into Libra on Sunday. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a break is what I'm feeling. Okay, especially work life is going to feel a lot more enjoyable, okay? Because the main kind of energy, now this is very general because the moon moves fast, but the general energy I'm picking up is with the Emperor. So the Emperor ruling Mars, and again, this is going back to Leo again because Mars is also in Leo. So it's sort of what I'm feeling from that is I have the King of Cups here. So where Mars is. And now if you look at this card, like it's quite, the water's a bit choppy there. As I was saying choppy, I think the video started cutting out there. The King of Cups here is a little bit, the water is choppy, and I'm sort of starting to feel like that we're understanding that arguing with your boss or getting into things that you know are just going to cause more problems is not the time right now. And collectively the energy that the heavenly bodies are sort of giving off is like, well, you're feeling good, so why would you even want to cause drama right now? Why would you even want to? The ball is in your court. Everything about this new kind of energy is about getting out and exploring different things. And I'm also feeling like you might feel like you don't even really know what you're doing, but you're having fun anyway, so it doesn't matter. Keep that kind of energy alive as long as you can, because it's going to be really good to embrace it for you, especially anyone that's watching this. You if you pay attention to the energy that I'm telling you about and be like, okay, well, I'm going to work with this. I'm going to work with the confident energy, okay? Because with the Nine of Pentacles again, she's wearing all that yellow, and it's just reminding me of Leo as well. So this Leo energy, it's like it's feeling really abundant. Um, yeah, and it being in Venus again, Leo and Libra together, those energies kind of working together. It's like there's a lot of enjoyable energy there to play with. But it's your own, it's only going to be your own special thing, is what I'm seeing. I don't see a lot of mingling other than when you have to mingle, if that makes sense, with the Three of Pentacles. It's like unless someone really approaches you, you're not going to feel like you want to go out and approach others. You're just kind of living in your own little like happiness bubble for the next while as well. With the Nine of Pentacles here in the position of where Venus is, um, it feels to me that everything will, because it's a Nine of Pentacles, it feels like everything is starting to feel a lot more balanced, and you're sort of going to feel accomplished. If you kind of was listening to my advice from last week about like focusing on what you want, now we're kind of sculpting it. Okay, we're chipping away at the things that are like, you know, could be better, but we don't really mind. Like it's just little small things. So you're starting to see the bigger picture now, okay? But I feel like you're also going to start to feel like this collective energy feels like we deserve a little bit of a break, okay? That's what I'm feeling from that. Is there anything else here? Yeah, again, look, we have the Star card, and the Star card is in the position of Venus again, because I have two positions of Venus, obviously, because we have Venus. This is Venus in Taurus, and the other one, the Nine of Pentacles, was Venus in Libra. Venus is not in Taurus or Libra. This is just their houses. I can't explain my system. It's quite simple. It's just like, yeah. Anyway, so we have the Star card here, and it's sort of another, yeah. This is like you have this kind of message coming in from the sky. Literally, the stars are almost like talking to you and kind of telling you that it's about time that you started to kind of enjoy life again, okay? Because we're going to get to Neptune, a big message that Neptune keeps sort of saying to us week after week. Yeah. Is there anything there that I want to maybe? I don't know if I want to talk. Nah, that doesn't really matter. So we'll go back to the full card here again. So the full, this is the new, this is already started. Okay, so part of this has all, it's like it's hard to explain. It's like past and future and present. It's the whole thing. So some of the things that people have done in the recent past, they weren't paying. Are we back? I don't know why my camera is doing this tonight. It keeps lagging. It never usually does that. So with the full card, we have here because it's linked to Uranus, and in the position of where this card is in Uranus, we have the Five of Cups. So, and yeah. Yeah, so what I'm feeling from this is the people who had certain things come up in Mercury retrograde, so like they fell off the cliff and they had the whole lesson, but they're not really seeing it as a lesson. They're moaning about it. Okay, this is what Uranus, because Uranus at the minute is in Aries. So everyone is sort of like a little bit frustrated. They're like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. When in the meantime, there's a bridge there, there's a building over there. They spilt 3 cups, but there's 2 left. Like, not, you didn't lose everything. So you might sort of be seeing the kind of annoying side to people who, aren't the sort of people that are wanting to work on themselves, or um, open to hearing how to improve their life. They were this energy of like, they started this journey, and now this Mercury retrograde sort of like took them full circle and was like, here you go. This is what you need to think about. And they're probably still not going to understand it. So if you're hearing a lot of moaning and people being like, why me? That is because of the new cycle again. And they have to kind of figure out their approach to it. So um, some people will still choose to stay stuck because with Neptune, we have the Eight of Swords. And Neptune is kind of linked to illusion in a way. And this is a very illusion kind of card. People still think that they are stuck. They think that they're trapped. They think that they can't do things. They think that they can't go places. They think that the only thing that is controlling all of this is the media telling people that they can't do things. You can do what you want to. Like the the other day I was literally sitting outside and I was just paying attention to animals, and I was like, these animals have no idea. They don't have a clue what's going on. But society has made us think that we can't do anything, we can't go anywhere. Now, a lot of people here watching this will not be in that situation, obviously. You won't feel like you can't go anywhere. Um, but this is sort of, when I'm seeing that energy there, the Eight of Swords, it's sort of starting to tell me that people are going to kind of snap a little bit. So you might also see that, because some of the people who are moaning are actually going to snap out of it and be like, what am I moaning about? What am I moaning about? And they're going to wake up a little bit. And then others are just going to stay stagnant, and that's okay. Um, but that's not really what we want to focus on. That's just something that you might notice and you might be able to pay attention to that happening. But for you, if you feel like you're something that you had just recently had to let go of and you're not happy and you're kind of sad about it, it's time to get over it. That's basically what Uranus is trying to say to me, is like, okay, time to move on. We have a new beginning here. Okay, this is what life is about. It's about taking risks. And as well, because Aquarius, and I'm looking at the star card again, because the star is ruled by Aquarius. Where I have Aquarius, I have the Seven of Cups. So it sort of feels like you're feeling accomplished in life here with the Nine of Pentacles. You're feeling very accomplished. You're also like thinking like something is coming. I'm feeling good about myself. I waxed my bush. Feeling confident. There's just there's something that I'm feeling from this card though. It's a little bit of the good thing about the Leo energy is the Leo is kind of bringing the fun to a situation where you're like, I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm still confused though. So this is the only thing that I'm seeing with Jupiter, because Jupiter is retrograde. And with it being in Aquarius, I kind of feel like it's those two energies of Aquarius already feeling kind of like a little bit of like alienated from the world, and then with it being like in retrograde, and then having this Seven of Cups there, it's like the confusion is like really intensified with what you actually are trying to accomplish. Because when Jupiter is retrograde, it's like you need to kind of really go within to see what it is that you need to do. But with having the Star card there and the Nine of Pentacles, it seems like now the fire energy of Leo is kind of bringing our confidence back, so that we realize that we kind of lost it a little bit, and that's why things weren't really going to plan. So that's the energy. It's like your confidence is kind of coming back, but you're still sort of confused because of the energy. So if that's what you're feeling, that's what that is. If not, that's okay. And this is linking to, okay, so Pluto is also retrograde. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Knight of Wands. So this is in the position of Saturn. Okay, there's a lot of wanting to go. There's a lot of wanting to travel. There's the collective. Everyone just is so frustrated. They just want to travel. They just want to get out of their fucking town and just go somewhere. They just want something to just change. They're fed up with thinking, like a lot of people are just fed up with thinking that they can't go places again. This is the snapping that I feel of people being like, well, fuck that. I'm going to go to the airport and I'm going to demand to just get me on the plane, and that's it. It's kind of what I'm feeling, because with the Knight of Wands here, where Saturn is, it's like people are sort of breaking the rules. Okay, so there's going to be people breaking the rules, and then with the Knight of Cups, there's going to be people trying to, play by the rules, but do it in a slow, like, there's like, what do you do in this situation? How do you get out there? How do you travel? How do you play by the rules? You can't play by the rules because the rules aren't right. They're wrong. They're completely wrong. They're completely backwards. They're against everything what it means to be human. Okay, so breaking the rules is actually the thing that you should do. What I'm feeling. And I think that Saturn is kind of highlighting that for people, is like, stop being such a pussy and just stand up for yourself. Okay, with that Knight of Wands, like, put on your helmet. If you fall, if you crash, who gives a crap? Okay, because Saturn is kind of being like, well, you got yourself in this mess, so it's time to get yourself out of that mess. Okay, now I'm talking, sometimes I talk as if the planets talk to each other, but this is kind of how I explain this. It's sort of like Pluto is trying to be like, let's just, do it this way, and Saturn is like, nah, no, let's just break the rules. Which I kind of agree with Saturn a little bit. I'm like, yeah, let's break the rules, because Saturn is about control. And when the control, it feels like to me what's happening now is control went too much that way, and now Saturn's like, okay, now pulling it back this way, because it's with the retrograde energy. I feel that because Saturn is kind of in SKYSTROLOGY, it's sort of playing with Aquarius as well. So it's like singling everyone out to step up and be like more confident in saying what they actually want to say as well. Because as well, like, the Knight of Wands could just be like, you're not afraid anymore to say something that is a bit out there, that, because Wands again is like external, so it's like being a little bit more passionate about what your thoughts are trying to tell you, and it's like you have to get it out with that Knight of Wands energy, okay? But yeah, again, this is linking to the confusion of this. With the Knight of Wands, it's like they're there for the long road. So there's some people in the collective that are kind of, sitting back, and that's okay too. That's kind of linking into this with the Seven of Cups. I feel like this is part of the confusion. Like, you're going somewhere, but you still don't know. But you're not really worried because you're going to take it slow. So there's a lot of confusion in regards to people who are kind of being more of not a hermit. It's not a hermit at all. It's more of a extrovert. It's like an extrovert energy that's kind of minding. It's really hard to explain. It's like an extroverted energy that's minding their own business. Does that even make sense? I don't think it does. It's like someone who's on a mission and like they don't have time to stop and chit chat. That's the energy of the whole collective, okay? And it's like, because with the Knight of Cups here, he's rowing this boat, but he's like going. It feels like he's rowing against the waves that are really hard, and he's just like he's out there in his little boat, and he's like living his best life. He's like, I'm great. Look at this chaotic weather, but like, what the hell? He's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm gonna, global warming, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going with what I'm doing and keep focusing on what I need to do. So that's the energy that I'm picking up on. Is there anything else? Yeah, Uranus seems to be the highlight for me, because I think that this retrograde really snapped people back, okay? And that is what you're seeing with a lot of people who don't understand. Even people who are like, oh, Mercury retrograde, it's so horrible, and they don't learn the lesson from it. This is those people. Okay, so you might see a little bit of that, like, oh, Mercury retrograde was so hard on me. No, Mercury retrograde isn't hard if you know how to handle a lesson. If you're able to be like, if you're able to acknowledge it rather than complain about it, Mercury retrograde teaches you the best thing you ever could learn. It's the best, honestly, it's the best. I kind of look forward for it. I'm like, I'm ready for what's gonna happen. And I'm actually never ready. But every single time it just brings in a whole, like, it just knocks it out of the park. Literally, it just completely takes you by surprise, and it's always great because when you get through it, you're like, thank God for that. Like, I didn't want to keep going down that path, so thank you, Mercury, you got me back on track. So this is what I'm feeling again, because the full card here, and it's just those two. It's like Gemini, okay, with Mercury being in Gemini and Gemini kind of communicating with Aquarius. It's like this is the kind of thing that they wanted. They wanted people to kind of snap back to reality so that they could see the bigger picture of what they were creating, what they were expanding on, and then it was like, oh. So that's what the whole thing feels like to me. Now, people who get attached to things and they've been going along with it for a long time, and then that Mercury snaps you back, and it's like, it's not what you were supposed to be doing, was it? And these are the people that don't let go easily. They'd like to stay attached. They don't want to go over the bridge to the nice fancy place. They want to stay in their misery, and you have to just let them, because Pluto is also working with that. So these planets that are further back are working with these people. So these people that don't want to wake up, it's still, the heavenly bodies are putting their own little spark on that. But this also plays into your own life. So, for example, I'm just giving one example of how that could be affected for people, or affecting people, but also with the Eight of Swords. This could be talking about you and your vision for your future. You could be thinking of like, oh, next year the world will probably still be like this, so I'm not even going to try and make any plans. What? 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 This is what Pluto, or sorry, Neptune, I always get Neptune and Pluto mixed up. This is what Neptune is saying. It's saying, no, no, no. Why are you thinking those things? This is not how we get you in a flow state. You can't be in a flow state if you're acting like you're stagnant, okay? When you're not. The stagnant is the illusion. You're not stuck. You're choosing to be stuck. So that plays into every aspect of your life as well. So a good little tip to kind of maybe understand that as well is talking to Neptune. Literally talking to Neptune. You could get the app on your phone. There's like what's it called? I have a few apps. Where is it? There's Sky Safari and there is Sky View. There's a free version. Also, on a new moon, okay, Western astrology will tell you that the moon is in whatever. Like the moon was in Gemini and they were telling everyone it was in Cancer. Okay, now when I switched over to SKYSTROLOGY and I noticed that, wait a second, it's in Gemini, and I started to work with the Gemini energy. I was like, whoa, this is really powerful. Like, it just, someone who does like, I do like little routine rituals and things on moons, new moons and full moons or whatever. And I noticed like working with, like the other night when I worked with the Gemini energy, I literally just did a whole routine based kind of around listening to music and like what else did I do? I had it written down there because I was going to make a video about it, but then I couldn't be bothered. I worked with kind of dragons and I did a meditation deep into that. I was brought actually in a portal of the moon. It was a really, really kind of deep little ritual, but it was all in my mind because I was working with the Gemini and I was like, okay, well, I don't have to do much. I just have to see what my mind picks up on. And it took me on a whole journey. But if I was to go with the moon being in Cancer, I would think, okay, I'm going to work with water element. I'm going to work with my emotions. And to be honest, my emotions felt fine. So it was actually kind of working with my mind and seeing you know what I mean? Just by switching over to what actually the energy is in alignment with, it just changes the whole thing. And how you can prove that is by getting the app and on the night of the full moon, check where is the heavenly body, and your phone will show you. So when Western says that the moon is somewhere, but you can check, actually even with your physical eyes, you can check with your phone, and if you have a clear sky, you can actually see as well. Yeah, so that's just something that I'm like, well, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would we say something is there when it's clearly there? Okay, so that's just something that I wanted to say. No, is there anything else I want to say? I don't think I have anything else. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like me to maybe have Claudette on again on the channel to talk about SKYSTROLOGY a little bit more, And maybe I could, I don't know, maybe if people want that, give this video a like as well, so I know that you like these videos. But yeah, if you would like Claudette to come on and talk, because she, she is the founder, so she knows all what she's talking about, because she's literally done a lot, years and years and years of research to come up with this whole system of finding the exact placements of everything. She's got the math, the math figured out. So if you would like Claudette to come on, maybe again, can get her on for a little quick hour chat, and I might do it live and let everybody know so that you can ask questions about sky astrology if you want. Because yeah, this the thing about sky astrology is it's you feel very free to kind of make your own judgment. It doesn't feel like there's rules to it. It feels like it's just like intuitive. Like Claudette just constantly tells people to like look at the sky, like look at the stars. And when I started to look at the stars, I was like, wait a second. Astrology is actually based on the sky, and we never actually even look at the sky. We look at charts and stuff, and it's like, wow. So I think we just kind of, it's like me always constantly talking about connect to the earth, connect to the earth, connect to the earth. But it's the same with astrology. If you're constantly just looking at a chart, but you're not actually paying attention to the actual sky and your connection to the stars, because we are, they will say that we are just stardust or whatever, but we never really connect to the sky anymore. Everything is focused on like the moon and the sun. We never really look at the stars at nighttime. Anyway, this video has probably been way too long. I'm going to stop talking now because it's quite late and I just rambled on for probably like 50 minutes. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this. And I will talk to you all next. I might do another video this week. I probably should. I didn't do one last week, so I'll do another pick a card or something. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the future. Goodbye.